Okay. Hi, hello, my name's Ollie Bliss and this is my channel Book Drawer. For those who don't know, I enjoy looking at queer fiction and occasionally I create images about it. Today I am doing a type of tag. It was created by Shawn the book Manic, who I've previously mentioned when I did the Apple tag. But today, through a little bit of a conversation from watching one of his videos, he was looking at an article in The Guardian which stated how books have a tendency to start really strong in their writing and then it can kind of either fizzle out or change during the course of the actual novel. And so he developed this kind of tag suggestion thing where we take page 112 from 3 different books and then make a choice from that selection. We've both given each other those 3 choices from our own collections and we've given a swap. So I have not seen any of these 3 books that he's recommended for me and he's not seen the ones which I've recommended for him, so please do check those over out on his channel and also check out his original tag in terms of see how it's actually developed. I think this is just a really cool way of selecting a different or your next book on the basis that we all have all those TBRs in that we've got going on, and sometimes it's difficult to know where you kind of want to go next with a book. So this is just a cool structure. Anyway, I will kick off by starting with the first book. Number 1. Maybe you should ask Toshi to take you out on a date. He's a nice, trustworthy guy, not like me. Mind your own business. Besides, Toshi likes American women. He thinks they're more exciting than we Japanese girls. Isn't that so, Toshi-chan? No, that's not true. Toshi lies. Don't distract Toshi, he's working, which is what you two should be doing, Nakaruma says. I don't know why I pay you. Now sensei, you know you can't rush talent. We creative types need freedom. Akira dons his headphones again and does an exaggerated jerky dance across the room. Grains of rice fly from his hair and roll across the storyboards of Toshi's desk, where panels of faceless characters wait to be filled in. A pair of high heels materialize on white paper, run across wet pavement. A woman's hand nervously clutches at a metallic pistol. American women, Toshi thinks. Why do I like American women? They're only trouble. Today he wants to forget about them and concentrate on his work. We can't. The white bandage on his thumb is unraveling. The running woman is Jane, and she pursues him across the page. Toshi hurries through a maze of crowded underground passages, past shoe stores and coffee shops, noodle stands and travel agencies' kiosks, plastered with sunny advertisements for vacations in Hawaii, Guam and Saipan. In front of the posters is 2 bikini girls tossing a beach ball, and a homeless man grills rice balls over a fire. So that was number 1. I like the fact that clearly Toshi is part of some sort of graphic design house, or maybe like, I don't know, manga style house where he is a creative person, so that draws me in immediately. I like the flow of the text. It's quite plain English, easy to read, apart from the fact that it's got complicated names which as a dyslexic person always struggle with, and I like the fact that it's set in a completely different location to my own. It's kind of cool because I asked Shawn to get me some stuff which I wouldn't probably be aware of because he's based over in Japan himself. So yeah, I'm pretty up for this. There's not too much to glean from this at this stage, but it gives me some insight to someone who's kind of conflicted between their work and their desire. I'm not like spellbound, but I'm intrigued. So for number 2, Tom held his last sherry of the term in May of '52, just before exams. This would have been a week or 2 after the hearings. I had tried for days to catch up with him. I don't know what he was doing. There was some talk of meetings in support, but I'm rather sure he didn't attend them. I wonder if he wasn't just going about his business with periodic intensity, as if showing himself indispensable. His rooms were jammed. Anyone I'd ever seen there had come. Martha, his housekeeper, was overwhelmed. She tried to hide in the kitchen, but there were people even in there. All of them were talking quite openly about Tom, who was out of earshot, sitting bolt upright with his usual seat in a living room. They exchanged rumours that had been going around for weeks, that Tom was covering for somebody. No, that someone in the party was setting him up. Or no, that all of them was somehow with Tom's tendencies. I wanted to hear more about that, but whoever was saying it clammed up when someone nudged him and he saw I was there. Martha listened with bewilderment. She didn't seem to know why anyone would be saying all these things about Professor Slater. So I like the sound of this one in terms of the fact that there is some sort of secret hidden, some sort of scandal, possibly. Academic setting, I guess. Some sort of like halls or like, I don't know, a place where other people are descending upon this house for whatever reason. For the style, for me personally, I don't know, it's a bit, it feels a bit old school. I don't know, for the style for me personally, it feels like it's slightly, I don't know, yeah, like elongated text, like it's less fluid as the first one, which seemed to have a bit more of a pace to it. But it feels like this would be, I don't know, like a bigger read. It would probably be a bigger book, but a slow burner possibly. That's what I sense from that book. This is kind of cool. I like this. It's like a different way of looking at literature. Okay, so number 3. On a 5-page story, I would rather write 8 pages of a single-space typewritten comments. My students were turning into writers, and I was up in the air, hanging over myself, watching my body more through the world. I'm still floating on this damp November day, nearly the anniversary of Zach's death, when I notice a familiar kid standing in my door. There's no telling how long he's been there, of course. I remember him. He's the guy in the Texas is the Reasons t-shirt, Justin, the student with whom, a few weeks earlier, I shared Jane Eyre. He stares at me for a minute, not speaking. Either he's mute or he's being polite. An outside chance. Then he points at my wall and says, "Cool man." My office is papered with maps of Long Island, pieced out of gas station roads maps and showing Walt Whitman's Palmanook, Newtown Creek to Orient Point.
You do that yourself?
He says. No, I say. I hired a design team. If only I were James Baldwin, whose irony, a retching subtext Baldwin penetrates, however, where I pinch, and my sarcasm makes people feel giddy rather than awed. Justin laughs and takes a step into my room, and I notice he's limping. Are you hurt? I say. He shrugs.
Messed up my knee playing ball.
He said. Bad? I say, forced because of his reluctance to downshift to his speed.
Not really.
He says. Yeah, I say, not quite knowing how to engage him. Consequently, I'm fictionalizing his pain. It's an occupational habit. Instead of writing my novel about Zach, I'm making up stories about my students. I'm looking at Justin and thinking, bum legs and American literature. Ahab leaning on a whalebone. Henry James' dad with a wooden leg. Jake Barnes losing his third leg in a lousy war. The sun also rises like your dick if you had one. Hem jokingly wrote to Fitzgerald. Hobbled ex-truck star bricks morning his skipper in. Oh, and then it goes off. I guess it's just another book that he's referring to in that one. So, I really like this one, and I'm wondering if Shawn likes this, because I know he teaches, so maybe kind of identifies a bit with the character on this one. But I like this one because of the references that it has to other literary writers. So I mean, the fact that he's referring to James Baldwin, who's Giovanni's Room, Walt Whitman, who's a queer poet, and then even Ahab leaning on a whalebone, which is a reference to Moby Dick, and I massively think that that book is queer, and I'm going to do a video on that one because there is a lot to be said about that book. He's also saying Hem jokingly wrote to Fitzgerald, and I forget who that is referencing, and I'm sure that people will belittle me later. He's basically querying this fleeting moment with a student and making up all these little stories, when also he should be concentrating apparently on his own book, his own text that he's supposed to be writing. So this is a person who's a bit of a scatterbrain, who I totally identify with in terms of having your mind in several places at once. So I like this one a lot. So those were the three books, and obviously I don't know the titles, but I would say of the three, for me personally, the third one really stood out. I really liked the way in which the narrator is thinking and just has his own personal insights to himself as he is talking to his student, who he clearly wants to try and build a rapport with, but he doesn't really know how to engage with this person. So the first one is Audrey Hepburn's Neck by Alan Brown, which is a 1996 novel. I feel like maybe Shawn has spoken about that one before, but I'm not entirely sure. The second one is American Studies by Mark Merlis in 1994. And the third is What I Did Wrong by John Weir, which is 2006. So I would choose from this What I Did Wrong by John Weir. I hope that this was interesting for you. It was kind of odd to narrate those three stories. I hope I didn't do too crummy a job. This is really cool. I enjoyed it, and I will get back to everyone in terms of once I have read What I Did Wrong. Big shout out and thank you to Shawn. This is really cool. I really enjoyed sharing this experience with you, and I might check out those other two books as well on top of that, just so I get a bit more of an insight to your personal reading habits. Anyway, take care from me, and I will see you all again soon. Okay, bye.